And let's please bring in the ageless, the peerless, the great Troy Westwood. How you doing, T-Dubs? Been too long.
I'm living the dream, brother. Great to see you.
Always great to see you. These Bombers have been very lucky to have these Friday night home games, but I've been busy working myself. I haven't seen the game, so I'm hoping that you can break down Friday's 41-37 win over the Calgary Stampeders for the Blue. Are they back?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think, like, when you ask, are they back, does that mean to the past years when they've been on a heck of a run? And they've definitely seemed to, and maybe too much, a little bit was blown out of proportion with the 3 losses. I think combined, those 3 losses were by 9 points. But it looks like they're starting to get back into sync for sure. I think there's still ongoing concerns with the O-line. And also the injury situation, right? They've been very fortunate the last couple of years avoiding a lot of injuries, and they're dealing with that now full scale. So they don't appear as bulletproof, I think, is safe to say, over the last, as they have looked and appeared over the last upwards of 5+ years here. But they look like they're coming around okay out of the injury situation.
Well, you're out and about, I would assume, around Winnipeg. What is the buzz? Like, somebody wrote in here and said, Chris Streveler will never be the heir apparent to Zach Collaros. Is that something that they're talking about in Winnipeg?
I don't think anybody is going to think that Chris Streveler, as dynamic and awesome and fun as he is, Rod, I don't think anyone's going to think that he would take over from a throwing capacity for Zach Collaros going forward. Right? I doubt very much so that's in their plans. He's that X factor. He's always going to be that X factor. And I would be shocked if Kyle Walters and the Brain Trust with the Bombers see him taking over as a quality throwing kind of a quarterback.
Consecutive losses for Calgary. I'm sure you viewed it from a Blue lens, but do the Stamps have much to worry about? They scored 37 points. That should win you a game. Do they have much to worry about?
Yeah, Rod, being very honest with you, I haven't paid a whole pile of attention outside of the Winnipeg market. Certainly not like the old days when we were on air with TSN studying and stuff like that. I consume myself with soccer much more so currently. But
is that right?
The Stamps, oh yeah, much. Coaching, playing, even watching. There a couple of days ago, the Bombers game conflicted with the Canada Copa game, and I was mostly tuned into our national soccer team, going back and forth between that and the Bombers. So not really well-versed on some of the other things going on in the CFL, outside of knowing that the mighty Rough Riders are having a decent season thus far.
Until Saturday night when they went into BC and lost 32-20. But as I said, if Trevor Harris was healthy and starting, I feel they would have won that game. But if you're talking about the Winnipeg market, to be honest, I'm into the CEBL. And I kind of wish more people were. I know the league is growing. A guy from your vintage in the CFL, Mike Morielli's running it. You don't get a better guy than Mike. And the Sea Bears are a big deal. Are they on your radar there in Winnipeg?
Honestly, not at all. Although I do, as far as going to the games or my kid has never brought, hey, Dad, let's go to the basketball. We are a soccer or a real football family through and through that way with soccer. The way some families are completely engrossed in hockey with the kids and all that sort of stuff with their spare time, recreational time, we are fully engrossed in things soccer related. But I do know that, and we live in the community where the Sea Bears came out of the gate flying. I know that their attendance therefore out of the gate was very strong, and honestly, I haven't heard too much about them in the last little bit, and I'm not even sure what their attendance is like at this point.
It's fun. Well, they set an all-time league attendance record, and they're only in year 2. Like Calgary broke it this year.
Last year was
Winnipeg
crazy.
Yeah, Winnipeg will probably come back and beat Calgary, but they had Strevler was at their game the other night, and the Sea Bears tweeted a photo of it. So yeah, just because you're not going to the games or following it, you know that a lot of people are. It's interesting how this country is somewhat segregated when it comes to sports. We've got this pro baseball league out here in Alberta and Sask that I work in, yet you got the Gold Eyes in a completely different league. So I want to make you comfortable. You come into our house, I want you to be comfortable. So tell me about soccer, dude. I tried to watch Canada-Argentina, and it completely turned me off. With the guys faking injuries, rolling around, it turned me off, man. Every time soccer people try and get me into it, I tune it in, and it lets me down. I did watch the final last night in Miami, but what would you say to that statement?
I understand that fully. And as a Canadian, even though, played the game my whole life and have watched a whole bunch of it, the brand of soccer, especially in with certain leagues or countries, there is much more of that than in other. And certainly during the Copa, with all the South American, you see a lot of that. And it's grotesque. I agree 100% with you. And I understand our Canadian, right, our sort of the foundational base that we have and the love and relationship that we have with hockey, where some things of that nature are simply not accepted. I would love to see the Luke, and there was some talk a little bit ago about having I think it was a blue card, issuing a blue card for someone or embellishment, things of that nature. It's something that they've been hesitant to address, but I would absolutely love to see that if you cause a stoppage in play, I would love to see that you need to leave the pitch for 10 minutes. And I think that would eradicate some of the things of that nature. I was in that game last night watching like you're saying, the Argentina and Colombia game. There was a fella that, after a tackle, he literally rolled 4 times, and then there was no whistle. The ref was letting things go, and he just popped up and started it's ridiculous. It needs to be addressed. It would do the integrity of the sport a world of good if it was addressed.
Well, last one is a comment and then a question. It's not just soccer. Like the Florida Panthers were diving in the playoffs. I'm living in Sunrise, Florida now. That's like my team. I didn't like it. I didn't feel good about it. But they won a Stanley Cup, so they don't care what we think. So the around on that with the Jets guy, I would assume you love Paul Maurice. I would assume because you had him on the air and he's such a classy guy. You've interviewed him so many times. I haven't heard a lot from Jets fans since they went out in round 1. That one hurt, didn't it?
Yeah, there were some sizable expectations, I think, for this year, and then now a lot of folks wondering just where exactly are they on their, where are they in a more of a rebuild? Are they just going to add on a little bit, all kinds of stuff, and even like a bonus getting questioned like crazy after the season as far as folks liking him or not liking him, that sort of thing. But how cool was that for Paul Maurice, brother? Like I think absolutely loved and adored by the vast majority of people here. And I dare say, Rod, in any sport, I've never, and I know that it wasn't just because he brought up Manitoba, but when he started listing the names on the cup, and then he talked about that with his dad, right? That after championship interview that he had may well go down as the best ever by any coach of any sport. It was just beautiful. He's always been such a fantastic orator, and he's just such a neat guy, and it seems to be such a good and decent man. It was a lot of fun watching. And most Canadians were supposed to, I think, cheer for Edmonton for the most part, but I was really torn. If Edmonton won, that would have brought a smile to my face. Seeing Paul Maurice win maybe brought a bigger smile to my face, but it was just great seeing him win.
I was the same. I was pulling for Florida, but I'm not pulling against Edmonton. If the Oilers win, I'll be happy for that too. But I mean, listen, Troy, you might think I think you and I are a lot alike. You think nobody gets you. I get it. We think the same. It may be screwed up, but at least we're the same in there together. We're all Canadians, and we're watching the end. I was watching that interview just like you, going, he didn't just say that. Like somebody wrote in here and said, I think he was trolling. Was he trolling? No, he meant it. That's the kind of guy that he is. So anyways, Troy, big fan as you know, brother. Thanks for the time, man, and enjoy the summer.
My pleasure, pal. Great seeing you.
CFL great and media great, if he doesn't mind me saying, Troy Westwood.